Okay, so here we are, the overhead camera view. Again, my little friend. Now, I have seen some people take these little felted acorns that they've made and put little facial features on them to give them, you know, what's anthropomorphic look. But I just love making the acorns of different colors because I have all this, you know, lovely wool in every shape and size and color, and why wouldn't I want to make some really pretty ones that can go with any decor that I have out there? So you know that I have been creating pumpkins of late, and I thought that I would make a couple of acorns to go along with this pumpkin that will be finished and on its way to a swap partner here very soon. I belong to a gang, and yes, it's called a gang. I'm just gonna say, it took me until 60 before I joined my first girl gang, but there it is. I'm in a gang, and it is a group of the most fun, most wonderful people that you could imagine. And we're doing a fun little swap for fall. So I've got acorns that are going to be going along with a pumpkin, but let's make another acorn. So it does not take an awful lot of wool at all. This is some of the wool that's left over from a beautiful gift from my lovely friend Laura that she gave me at Randy's Memorial Shindig almost 4 years ago. And the colors that she's a fiber artist as well, and she knew the healing power that there is in working with wool and working with fiber. And I still have, I mean, I've been using this wool sparingly because I want to savor the gift of joy that she gave me as I was saying goodbye to my husband. But this has got some beautiful bits of silk in it. It's got some sari silk threads in it. It's got some gorgeous colors. And I've got 2 different little shingles pulled. I'm only going to need 1 of these to make the acorn for this particular cap. But I wanted to show you 2 different ways that you could create the acorn here. So the first way is by, you know, pulling a shingle off. And that's as simple as just holding the length of wool with one hand and taking your other hand and pulling off a little amount. And then if you want, you can finger blend just a little bit more just to, you know, get those fibers to look a little more cohesive. I kind of like the chunky look. So these big pieces of yellow in here, I'm absolutely leaving the way they are because they're beautiful. But you just take a little bit like this. Sorry, I didn't mean to wiggle things there. But the first way of doing it is by taking that shingle that you've got and tying a simple overhand knot and then tightening it up a little bit and using that as your base for your felted acorn by wrapping those tails around and then taking your needle and working your needle all the way around. Okay, so we're going to work this particular acorn here, and it's just a matter of stabbing those fibers toward the middle. And see, I got a little loose here, so I can just pick it up and just wrap it around again. Do your best to, you know, anchor that fiber in place. And at first, we're not worried about the round factor. We'll get to that in the finishing details. But right now, we just want to make sure that these fibers are connected and as compact as we can get them. Because the one thing about needle felting, and particular needle felting a sculpture, and even though this is just a tiny little ball, it's still considered a sculpture. The best thing that you can do to make your needle felting of a sculpture go well is to compress out as much of the air as possible so that you're just working with your needle to get those fibers to connect with the fibers that are around it instead of having to work to compress the air out at the same time. So this is my size 38 needle. It's a coarser needle. It works really well for getting the job started. I'm going to try and turn here so you can see a little bit easier in the light. I think that'll work. And then once I know that I've got those fibers all connected, I can take and I can roll the ball in my hands just to give a little bit of friction, you know, additional friction in a different way, and a little bit of heat to help pull those fibers in. And now, it's a red needle, so it's my size 40 needle. Now I can take and I can work the needle all the way around to finish up the felting on this. Now, we're not worried about this being a well felted piece. Doesn't have to be a well done felt. If you remember from previous lessons, you hold your hand like this. This is rare felt. That's how it'll feel. This is medium felt. That's how it'll feel. This is well done felt. Same way you tell how well done a steak is. If you like a bloody steak, that's what you want the steak to feel like. If you want a medium steak, just a little bit of pink, not much blood, that's what you want. If you want a well done steak, or you want to have a little char on the outside and nothing but no pink at all visible, that's what you're going for. So it's learning the textures of the felt. Now right now, we've got between a rare and a medium. We've got kind of a medium rare felt. So we want to work this to about a medium, because this isn't going to be handled a great deal. It's a sculpture. It's gonna, you know, probably sit on a table. You know, you might get a kiddo that would come by and, you know, pick it up and look at it, but it's not gonna get a whole lot of active wear and tear, like, for instance, a piece of jewelry would, a bracelet or a pair of earrings. Even earrings are less than a bracelet, but you get the idea. And it's not a toy, so it's not going to be, you know, played with over and over. It's just a little sculpture that's going to be part of our little tablescape for the fall. And we are almost done here. I'm kind of happy with how this is turning out. I told you it was a quick and easy project, right? So I'm just going around making sure that I'm getting everything there, and then I'll fit it to the acorn cap here. And so what I like to do is find a spot where it fits, and then I can look at it and I can say, okay, this is a little bit round maybe, so using the acorn cap to hold it. And I just figured this out this morning. If you got another acorn cap, you can hold it between two acorn caps and save your fingers. Gives you a little extra room so that you don't have to worry about stabbing your non-stabbing hand. And you can just twirl it around. I know, isn't this the coolest thing? This, I mean, there are tools out there, but you know what? Sometimes the best tools are the things that you don't even think of. Okay, so I've just gone around the acorn a little bit, just to bring that girth in so that it looks appropriate for the acorn cap. And now let's take it and let's take a look. See which side we like in the cap better. All right, and now what I'm going to do is just sort of stab toward the acorn cap itself to sort of fit it into that acorn cap. Just, you know, tiny little stabs that are angled toward the acorn cap, not toward the edge of the acorn cap, but toward underneath the acorn cap, so that I can kind of tuck the edges of the acorn, the felted acorn, in there. And you see how that's just bringing it in a little bit more so that it looks like it fits perfectly. And now I'm just going to flatten it out a little bit. Got a little piece of silk in there that's grabbing hold of the needle, and that's okay. That's what silk does. And we have an acorn, ladies and gentlemen. Say hello to our little friend. Now the only thing left to do is just to take a drop of tacky glue, excuse me, and I'm literally just putting a drop in the acorn cap. Give it a quick little swirl to get those ends in. I love that this particular brand finally went with an upside down lid because it makes so much sense. And then just press our acorn into the cap. And we've got an acorn ready to go. Now, I told you that I was going to show you 2 different ways that you could make up the acorn body. This is the other way you can make up the acorn body. And I'm just going to set our one acorn here. Here's our other acorn there. And just find it someplace where it can set so that that glue and the acorn cap can attach one another. But got another acorn cap. I'm going to move these out of the way. This is the other way that you can roll up your acorn to get started felting. Just take, and again, remember, we're compressing as much of the air out of this as we can. So I'm rolling up really tight. Can you see how tight that is? And then I'm bringing in the sides, and I'm rolling up some more. It's hard to see with my fingers here, I know. But then bringing in the sides and rolling up some more. And this is another way. It's just about pulling in those sides as we're rolling up so that we've got our nice little acorn here at the very end. Being sure to push out as much of the air as we possibly can so that all we have left are fibers. You see how we've got that all compressed there? And then we just base the fibers in place. Go all the way around. I'm not worried that the ends are coming out a little bit because we'll get to them, but we want to make sure that these fibers are connected here in the center so that we don't have to worry about it unraveling and unrolling. Okay? So we're just going all the way around. And then it's holding together, which is exactly what we wanted it to do. Now we're going to come in at either end, and we're going to bring in those loose edges. And I just try and work this sort of on an arc so that it rounds out that end. And again, I'm using the size 38 needle. This is what we start our felting projects with, our needle felting projects. And then once I've got that end done, then I'm going to come in at the other end. And I'm going to do the same thing. And this will give us that more rounded ball. When you use this method instead of the overhand knot method to start out a felt ball, you do get a more oval shape or more elongated tube shape than a ball. So you do have to work the ends a little bit more deliberately to bring those fibers in so that they will compress down and give you that more rounded shape. Now I'm switching over to the size 40 needle. And again, I am working that arc on the end. And I'm taking it pretty much to the center of where the ball is. And by the time we get done with this round, I think our felting might just need a single pass around the outside and it'll be ready to pop into that acorn cap. But as long as you're making sure that your needle touches the fibers in every spot possible, I like to think of a little grid being projected over the project that I'm working on with needle felting so that I make sure that I work it from one area to another area and getting every single aspect covered on that. Whoops. Hello, pumpkin. And again on this other end. And the one nice thing about this method, instead of the overhand method, is if you've got striations of fibers, they're going to show a little bit more this way than what they will with the other one. And I'll hold the two next to each other to show you what I mean. You see a little bit more of the detail of the fibers that you've used for this. Whoops. And then just a single little pass. I'm going to grab that acorn cap, put it in my hand the right way. Do I want this end? I think I want this end in here. And then just like I did with the other one, I'm going to pull in the sides and angle the needle toward the center of the acorn cap to sort of fit it to the acorn cap, turning it around. Take a look at it. Oh yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, so I want to show you the two acorns next to each other. This one's a little more stout. That's okay. This one's a little taller. We could certainly work the needle some more and just be very deliberate about working that needle to get this into a little bit more of a stout position than in the elongated position. I'm not concerned about that. Acorns are all, you know, similar, but they're all different. But you see how the one that we started with the overhand knot, we have rather irregular striations there. And then this one that we did the rolling method, we've got a lot more detail and we can see those differences in the acorns as we're turning them around. But there we go, felted acorns. All we need to do is glue this cap on, and that's our project for today. Yay! Told you it was quick and easy. We will be back again tomorrow. I may have another little quick tutorial for you tomorrow. But until then, 8 days. 8 days until the Felted Experience is open for new members. And I really hope that you'll come and join us. We have a lot of fun in that group. You get all kinds of information, you get access to me, and you get a new monthly video tutorial every month. So head over to stabthingsintoexistence.com, take a look at the details of the Felted Experience, and I hope in 8 days when we open the cart that you'll join us. Until then, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.